Your Toyota might look tough, but here's the truth. Most cars don't make it past 200,000 miles without draining your wallet. Engines fail, transmissions die, repairs pile up. But there's a secret most drivers don't know. It is the fact that your Toyota can easily push 400,000 miles if you play it smart. The real question is, will yours make it that far? Or will it break down early and leave you stuck with huge bills? Because the difference isn't luck, it's knowing a few simple habits that keep your car running strong for decades. So what are those habits? And how can you start using them today? Number 10. Service the transmission fluid. Your Toyota's transmission is one of the most expensive parts to replace, and yet it only needs one thing to stay healthy: clean fluid. Transmission fluid is what makes the gears shift smoothly, what keeps everything cool, and what stops parts inside from grinding themselves to dust. The problem is, transmission fluid doesn't last forever. Heat breaks it down, dirt builds up, and eventually it turns from smooth red liquid into something dark, thick, and burnt-smelling. At that point, the damage is already being done. That's why Toyota recommends checking and servicing it at proper intervals. This is usually between 60,000 and 100,000 miles for automatics, and closer to 30,000 to 60,000 for manuals. If you tow, haul heavy loads, or spend your life in stop-and-go traffic, you'll need to change it even earlier. The type of fluid matters too. Toyota has specific fluids like ATFWS for newer cars, and older models use Type T or TIV. If you put the wrong one in, you can ruin the way the transmission works. That's why you should always double-check your owner's manual or ask the dealer for the exact fluid type. And here's something important. Don't fall for those quick lube places that try to flush the transmission with high pressure. That can knock loose dirt and actually clog things inside. A simple drain and refill, sometimes with a filter change, is much safer. After that, you'll feel smoother shifts, and more importantly, you'll avoid the nightmare of a transmission rebuild, which can cost thousands of dollars. Taking care of the transmission fluid is basically buying time. Heat is what kills transmissions, and old fluid doesn't handle heat well. Fresh fluid does. That's why Toyotas with properly serviced transmissions can cross 300,000 miles like it's nothing. Neglect it, and even a Camry or Corolla, who are the kings of reliability, can start slipping gears or refusing to move forward long before 200,000. That's the big difference between a car that gets sold for parts and a car that becomes a legend in your driveway. And once you've got that handled, the next thing you need to worry about is the engine itself, because that's the real heartbeat of the whole machine. Number 9. Change oil with high-quality synthetic fluid at proper intervals. If transmission fluid is about shifting, engine oil is about survival. Every single moving part inside your Toyota's engine, pistons, camshafts, valves, bearings, relies on oil. Without it, the engine doesn't just wear down, it destroys itself. And here's the kicker: not all oils are equal. Toyota has moved almost all of its newer models to full synthetic oil, usually 0W20. That's because synthetic oil resists heat, flows better in cold weather, and holds up longer than conventional oil. It keeps the engine cleaner, fights sludge, and makes sure that even when you start your car on a freezing morning, the oil moves fast enough to coat every part before metal starts scraping against metal. The interval is just as important as the type. Toyota recommends oil changes every 10,000 miles or 12 months for newer models on synthetic. But that doesn't mean you can just forget about it until then. If you drive in dusty places, make a lot of short trips, or live in really hot weather, you should be changing it closer to every 5,000 miles. Older Toyotas also usually need shorter intervals. And don't forget the filter. Oil filters are small, but they catch all the dirt and metal particles floating in your oil. Skip a filter change, and you're basically letting that dirt flow back into the engine. The benefits of sticking to clean synthetic oil are massive. Engines stay cooler, run smoother, and last longer. It also ensures that sludge doesn't get a chance to build up. Piston rings don't stick, which means your car doesn't start burning oil after 150,000 miles. Bearings don't wear out, which means you don't hear that dreaded knocking sound that usually signals the end. With good oil, Toyotas have been known to cross 400,000 miles without even touching the engine internals. And if you think oil changes are expensive, compare that to the cost of a blown engine. You could literally buy another used Corolla for the price of one mistake here. Number 8. Replace the timing belt on applicable models. If your Toyota has a timing belt, not all do, replacing it on time is huge for making the car last 400,000 miles. The timing belt connects the crankshaft and camshaft so that valves open exactly when pistons move. If it snaps, parts that shouldn't hit each other will often collide. That can lead to bent valves, ruined pistons, and a really expensive engine job. So this belt is not optional maintenance. Toyota models with timing belts usually need the belt replaced every 100,000 to 160,000 kilometers, which is about 60,000 to 100,000 miles, or every 5 to 10 years, 7 years, depending on which comes first. The years matter because rubber degrades with time even if you drive less. Older belts that are cracked, frayed, or look glazed should not wait till 100,000 miles. The manufacturer's schedule in the owner's manual is the rule. For example, one Toyota dealer says timing belt replacement in that mile range. When replacing the timing belt, it's smart to also replace related parts while things are apart. That means the tensioner, idler pulleys, water pump, if driven by the belt, and seals. Those parts wear out too, and since you're already paying labor to remove covers, doing them together saves money in the long run. Also use quality parts like OEM or high-quality third-party so the belt can have correct material and strength. Proper installation is also very important. If the belt is too loose or too tight, it will wear fast or fail. Number 7. Replace belts and hoses proactively. Belts and hoses are smaller parts but vital. Belts drive things like alternator, water pump, power steering, air conditioning. Hoses carry coolant, fuel, brake fluid, etc. If a hose bursts or a belt snaps, things stop working fast and maybe cause more damage like overheating or even loss of power steering. So don't wait for loud failure. Do checks. Toyota recommends inspecting drive belts around 60,000 miles and every 15,000 miles after for wear, etc. Hoses should be checked too for cracks, leaks, softness, or bulges. If hoses are old, rubber can harden, crack, or leak. Heat under the hood, exposure to chemicals, and vibration make them degrade. Replacing belts and hoses before they fail means you avoid sudden breakdowns, overheating, and damage to other parts. For example, a loose belt can slip and overheat the alternator or battery, or fail to charge the battery well, causing electrical problems. A leaking hose can cause coolant loss and engine overheating, warping metal, or damaging head gasket. Proactive replacement is cheap insurance. Use parts made for your Toyota model and inspect periodically. Number 6. Regularly service the brake fluid. Brake fluid is what makes your brakes bite hard when you press the pedal. It moves force from your foot to the brake pads by hydraulic pressure. The fluid must stay clean and free of water because water lowers its boiling point. If it boils, it turns to gas, and gas compresses, unlike liquid, so the brake pedal can go soft or even fail. Also, water causes corrosion inside brake lines, calipers, master cylinder. Toyota suggests changing or flushing brake fluid about every 2 years or 20,000 miles, depending on model, driving style, and how humid your environment is. If you brake hard often or drive in stop-and-go traffic, moisture builds up faster, so you may need it sooner. For example, King's Toyota says Toyota recommends every 2 years or 20,000 miles. Courtesy Toyota of Brandon says fluid replaced approximately every 20,000 miles, which might be every 24 to 36 months depending. When servicing, use the right type of brake fluid. Most Toyotas use DOT3 or DOT4 fluids that absorb moisture. Using wrong fluid or mixing types can reduce effectiveness or damage components. Also, during service, bleed the system well so old fluid and trapped air is out. Air bubbles make the brake feel spongy. Check seals, hoses, and connections for leaks or corrosion while doing it. Keeping brake fluid fresh means brakes work reliably for decades. The pedal stays firm, stopping distance stays as designed. It also protects expensive parts like calipers and master cylinder from rust or damage. If you neglect brake fluid, you may need to replace more parts sooner, and sudden brake failure is dangerous. Number 5. Maintain the cooling system. Your cooling system's job is to keep engine temperature in a safe zone. It has coolant, also called antifreeze, a radiator, thermostat, water pump, hoses, and sometimes cooling fans. Coolant flows through the engine, absorbs heat, goes to the radiator where air cools it, then cycles back. If anything goes wrong, like the coolant being too old, hoses cracked, radiator leaking, water pump failing, the engine could overheat. Overheating warps metal, damages gaskets, sometimes cracks engine blocks. Toyota says coolant should be replaced on many models around 100,000 miles first time, then every 50,000 miles thereafter, or according to your owner's manual. Others recommend a coolant flush every 30,000 miles or every 2 years, depending on coolant type. Coggin Toyota says coolant flush typically every 30,000 miles or every 2 years. Also, J. Wolf Toyota says first cooling system service around 100,000 miles, then every 50,000 after. When you service the cooling system, flush out old coolant, clean any debris or sediment, check and replace hoses that are cracked or soft, inspect radiator and clamps, ensure thermostat is working, water pump is good, all connections tight. Use the proper coolant type as specified by Toyota. Also, check the radiator cap and pressure. Wrong pressure can let coolant boil or leak. Regular cooling maintenance prevents overheating, prolongs life of many parts. Head gasket, cylinder head, engine block stay intact. Temperature sensors, coolant fans, heater core also last longer. With a cooling system in good shape, your engine avoids heat stress, avoids warping, and avoids needing costly repairs. Good cooling keeps everything running smoothly over hundreds of thousands of miles. Number 4. Address minor issues promptly. When something small goes wrong, like a weird noise, vibration, warning light, dripping under the car, it's tempting to ignore it. But small problems almost always grow. That little seep of coolant can become a big leak that overheats the engine. That light on the dash might mean a failing sensor, which if ignored could lead to higher fuel consumption or even damage to the catalytic converter. Toyota owners who report big repair bills often say, "I heard a squeak months ago," and ignored it. Catching things early saves money and avoids big repairs. Gresham Toyota says that listening to a Toyota, that is, the unusual noises, warning lights, vibrations, and dealing with them promptly prevents minor issues from snowballing. Also, some small issues affect safety or performance before they become obvious damage. A small crack in a belt, a loose clamp on a hose, or a slightly worn brake pad might not stop the car today, but they reduce braking efficiency, or let foreign particles into the cooling system, or put extra stress on other parts. If left unchecked, these can lead to more wear elsewhere. For example, damaged belts or hoses can cause coolant loss, which causes overheating and engine damage. Toyota maintenance advice always includes periodic inspections. Another reason to act fast: parts that fail small often cause collateral damage. A leaking seal might drip oil onto a serpentine belt and cause that to wear out early. A failing alternator might put extra strain on the battery, wiring, and cooling. What starts as a minor issue turns into multiple parts that need replacing. That multiplies cost. Owners who drive Toyotas long report that most big repairs came because small warning signs were ignored. So the habit is, when you notice something off, don't wait. Get it checked by a good mechanic. Use quality parts. Fix things early. It feels annoying sometimes, but it's way cheaper than letting small issues turn into wrecks that push you away from that 400,000-mile mark. Number 3. Drive gently and avoid hard driving. Your driving style really matters. Smashing the gas pedal, slamming the brakes, revving high, jerky stops and starts, all of those create more stress on engine, transmission, brakes, suspension. Every part of the car works harder. Fluids heat up, metal parts expand, wear increases. Studies and guides on car longevity often warn that aggressive driving reduces the life of many components. Motorist Assurance points out that frequent hard braking and rapid acceleration damage brakes, engine, transmissions, and increased maintenance costs. Hard driving also pushes fluids, belts, hoses, tires, cooling systems beyond what they are designed to handle regularly. For example, heat from the engine rises with driving fast or revving high. That heat degrades oil, coolant, and transmission fluid faster. Tires wear unevenly if you corner hard. Suspension components like shocks or struts wear out faster if you frequently hit potholes or drive harshly. Avoiding these habits means those parts last far longer. Gentle driving means accelerating smoothly, braking gently, maintaining steady speeds, avoiding overloading, anticipating traffic so you don't stop suddenly, doing more highway driving rather than constant stop and go. This lowers heat, lowers wear, saves fuel, and stretches the life of the car. Toyota's own tips on driving more efficiently include avoiding lead foot behavior, which is the act of pressing the accelerator hard, and also avoiding sudden stops. When you combine gentle driving with prompt attention to small issues, everything works together. The engine stays cooler, parts that would wear out fast under stress last way longer, you reduce risk of big repairs. That's how many Toyotas have gotten to 300,000 to 400,000 miles just by being driven well. Number 2, use genuine Toyota parts. Using genuine Toyota parts means parts made by Toyota or approved for Toyota, not cheap copies. Genuine parts are built to fit perfectly with the right materials and tested to work with your car's systems. When you use them, you reduce the chance that something won't match, leak, wear wrong, or fail early. Toyota itself says genuine parts are built to the highest standards of quality, durability, and performance, and designed for your vehicle's exact specifications. Genuine parts often come with warranties. If something fails, you may be able to get it repaired or replaced under Toyota's warranty or parts warranty, depending on your vehicle. But if you use non-genuine parts, those warranties are often void. Toyota warns that using non-genuine parts can damage the vehicle in the long run, and that only genuine parts are covered by their warranty policies. Another thing is reliability over time. Genuine parts tend to last longer because they meet exact design specs and tolerances. That means they wear more evenly, hold up under stress better, and are less likely to fail unexpectedly. Because they are designed for your exact model, they avoid mismatches that cause extra stress on other components. Also, using genuine parts helps maintain your car's resale value. People buying used Toyotas notice whether parts are OEM or genuine. If many parts are genuine, the buyer will trust the car more and may pay more. Also, cars with genuine parts tend to show better maintenance history, which is a plus for resale. Finally, safety and performance are better when everything works as designed. Brakes, sensors, filters, engine components, when they are genuine, they have been tested for safety, fit, durability, emissions, etc. If you use cheap parts, sometimes they don't meet those tests, which can lead to worse fuel economy, more emissions, or in worst cases, failures that could lead to accidents. Genuine parts reduce that risk. Number 1, keep it clean inside and out. Keeping your Toyota clean on the outside does more than make it look good. Dirt, grit, bugs, road salt, acid rain, bird droppings can damage your paint, the clear coat, metal surfaces. Over time, those things eat away at protective layers and lead to corrosion or rust. If rust starts, it spreads under paint and metal, weakens body panels, doors, frame, parts that are expensive to repair. Regular washing removes those harmful materials before they damage the vehicle. Also, cleaning and waxing the exterior help protect the paint from UV damage and fading. Sunlight breaks down paint over time, making it dull, causing cracks or peeling. Wax or sealant adds a layer of protection. When paint is protected and surfaces are clean, less moisture collects, less dirt sticks, and the finish lasts longer. That makes the car resist aging and maintain its strength versus letting weather degrade it. Inside, cleaning matters for comfort, health, and preserving things like upholstery, dashboard, carpets, seatbelts. Dust, food crumbs, spills, moisture can stain or rot fabrics, cause odors, mildew, mold. If you let dirt collect in carpets or seats, fibers wear down faster under use. Leather or vinyl surfaces can crack or fade if not cleaned and protected. Cleaning the interior prevents those long-term damages. Also, keeping windows, mirrors, and lights clean improves safety. If dirt or grime blocks light or your view, you see less at night or when weather is bad. Reflections from headlights, glare, and a dirty windshield can reduce visibility. Clean windows and mirrors help you see road hazards, pedestrians, stop signs clearly. Clean headlights or taillights shine better. Clean lights are more visible to others. Finally, keeping clean also means you can spot problems early. When your car is washed, you may notice small scratches, rust spots, loose trim, small leaks, cracks, etc. Inside cleaning, you may find worn wiring, broken clips, torn upholstery, smells. These early signs let you act before damage gets worse. Clean car equals easier inspections, and earlier fixes equals longer life overall. If you enjoyed this video, let us know in the comment section down below and turn on your notifications to know when next we upload. See you in our next video. Bye.